the best 44 years of my life. My name is Gustav Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. So before I introduce you to my next very special guest, I wanted to give you a quick update of what's going on here in Poland. So my wife informed me, because of my lack of Polish skills, I rely on her for most of my news, that from Friday, the wearing of masks will not be compulsory anymore. This means that they're really letting off some of the strict regulations and restrictions that we have had here. Now, I must admit, I don't find this to be very strict if I listen to what's happening in Germany, in France. And even that being said, that many of these countries are also kind of opening up their doors now as well. Now, what that means for us from a travel perspective, I'm not entirely sure if our borders are open. I don't think so. I know that Germany is only considering opening borders now, so I think we are slower to follow in their tracks. So interesting times in the sense of that. And then yesterday when I went into town, and I think in the last episode you heard my motorcycle fire up, it was quite a strange, surreal experience because I expected to see much more people kind of in this pandemic mode, but that wasn't entirely true. Many of the vendors were wearing masks, and that was the only real sign that something was different. There was traffic, there was action, and to be honest, and I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, my barber wasn't really wearing masks or attempting to wear shielding or anything like that. So what does that mean? Not sure. And to be honest, some of the people that I spoke to yesterday when I was in town kind of feel like perhaps this was a little bit overblown. But I think it was also because the Polish government moved quite swiftly to close things down. And the fact of the matter is that we are also not really able to see the effects of this pandemic directly. Thank God. Now, I'm waffling on way too much. Let me introduce you to my next guest. It's a special one.
Hello, my name is Gustav. I live in Cape Town, South Africa, and I have known Werner for the best 44 years of his entire life. I'm sure you would agree to it, and yes, that makes me his younger brother. Firstly, I must apologize for taking so long to send this in. Werner asked me to do it quite a while back, but I am not the most creative person and too comfortable with anything of this sort. Werner got all the creativity in the family. I don't know why. Quite jealous of him for it. But yeah, to give a comparison between the two of us, if you gave us both the same box of Lego, I would be the one keeping the box, the plans, and I would be building strictly according to that plan, whereas Werner would chuck everything away and make the most beautiful thing out of the blocks that's left. What do I do? Well, I'm involved in the aviation industry. Don't want to go into too much detail, but it's I do on the sideline. I do fly helicopters and train people how to fly helicopters, and it's a passion job. Unfortunately, it's not the best industry to be involved in at the moment due to Corona. I've seen so many of my friends and people I know that's in dire straits because of what's going on in the world at the moment. And I'm just not only talking about pilots and cabin crew, thinking about the people that make the food on the airlines, people that do maintenance on the airports, people at the airports themselves. There's so many people that we walk past and don't think about when it comes to the aviation industry. And those people are all in dire straits at the moment. Highly qualified people that's earning a tippence at the moment. And they can't do anything else because that's what they've been taught what to do. And I feel for them. Fortunately, in my industry, my section of the aviation industry, we still get to go to work, keep the lights on, as they say, until there's some return to normality. Not that it will be normal, I don't think. It's going to take a long time to recover. I mean, even if they start flying today, I don't think a lot of people would want to get into airplanes. So it's a scary time, especially in South Africa, where the lockdown has been carrying on for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've lost track of how long we've been in lockdown. We came back from holiday just before it hit, so we had to go into a period of 14 days self-quarantine, which just made it even longer. And then the lockdown started. So yes, it's a little bit Twilight Zone-y, because I mean, I left, everything was normal in the shops, and when eventually I could venture outside to go buy my own food again, there were red lines all over the place, and people that I used to be able to greet and say hello to had a plastic thing in front of you, which is a Perspex shield, which was just very strange. It was kind of like I say, it's almost like going into the Twilight Zone. But anyway, what have I learned about myself? Like many other people that send their things in, I've learned to appreciate what I've got. Fortunately, I've got a beautiful family, 2 beautiful kids, beautiful wife that I can spend my time with all the time at home. I would prefer to be with them at home. But I miss going outside as well. But at least I'm fortunate, I'm blessed, and I appreciate what I've got at home. One thing that I learned to appreciate, though, is my job that I've got. I mean, I've worked overseas, and in my field, I always thought that it's rock solid. I mean, like I said, I'm not a very creative person, so I like the job security. I like the stability, the security of it, and the fact that I would get a salary every month. And a blink of an eye that can disappear, even in something that you thought were so stable. The demand can just completely go away overnight. So yes, I appreciate it more. We are very quick to complain, which is not a good thing, which I've learned we shouldn't do. Yes, and I'm just thinking of the people out there that's struggling. I'm really, that's my biggest concern. I'm more worried about those people at the moment losing jobs, not being able to eat. It's more concerning for me even than the virus itself at the moment. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am worried about what's happening in the world. But when people are hungry and people I know that's struggling, it just hits home very, very quickly. So yeah, but let's hope and pray everything turns around soon, and that life can return to normal. I know it will be a new normal. A lot of people saying how you must remain positive, and there's a lot of good things that will come out of this. I'm also thinking of a lot of good things that we're going to lose because of it. Airlines that's going to go under, and people, like I say, being in this industry is not the best place to be at the moment. I hope this works. I hope it's not too depressing for you. At least life goes on, and thanks for your show. It's always good to hear what the rest of the world is experiencing, and keep up with the good work.
Thanks for sharing, brother. And I think it is an interesting perspective that you're sharing. And of course, I don't wish anybody this situation, but I also hope that this industry will also reframe and relook what they're doing. There's a lot of things that are related to environment, to service levels at things like airports, and how we are treating people moving through the airports and all the passengers and moving people around. Such an important thing to do, but I think it's time for a reframe. The only thing, it's a little bit of a painful reframe, which I regret. Now, the other thing I would also say to you, and it's something that I want to reflect on for myself, I've been thinking about this the couple of days myself, is that, and I call this a propensity for action. Now, brother, you and me, we tend to sit around and worry and think about things a lot. The struggle with that is that sometimes we think too much and we act too little. I know for myself, I can't speak for you, that I've been really worried about my business. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I think I'm yet to experience the real repercussions of the new normal. Now, the only way I can make a difference is to stop worrying about it and actually try new things, do new things. And to be honest with you, even through this process of trying to figure out what to do, I haven't taken a lot of action. I know that some of my clients always say to me, Vanna, we enjoy your approach to things because you have this propensity for action. Now, action sometimes also leads to mistakes, and that is the thing that I think we are most nervous of. So we need to reflect and appreciate the things that we've lost, but we need to also think about the actions we're going to have to take in the future to perhaps be part of building something new. I know that I don't want to sit on the sideline watching the new being created. I want to be in there. But I need to force myself not to be a spectator. And for that, we need to take a few risks. So perhaps take a moment today to appreciate some of the things that you have lost, and then think about what actions you can take to help build the future. And as always, thanks for taking a little bit of time to listen.